Because all the article will tell you that they want, they aim at. Okay, so look for this word. This study aims to, okay, then this is their research objective. So you go to your article and look for this word. This studies, the objective of this study is to explore the relationship between demographic and romantic relationship with anxiety as moderating role, for example. Okay, you try to find out all these keywords that will represent the objective of your article. Sorry, I need to I don't know why this is not working. I've switched on all the plugs, but it's not charging. And I have 25 minutes remaining. Use up 20% in 20 minutes. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Okay, what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is a prediction, yeah? Prediction, assumption. Say for example, you have hypothesis, you have objective here. So one of you, each one of you, okay, your objective, this is your objective, then your hypothesis. Okay, right here, yeah. What is your hypothesis? Your hypothesis will be hypothesis 1. There is a relationship between A and B. You predict that there is a relationship. Then your hypothesis 2, there is a relationship between IV1 and DB1. Okay? Those online, can you hear me? Because I am actually, I have moved the laptop. So what is the hypothesis here? What is the hypothesis for this one?
There is a relationship between IV3 and DB1.
Very good. There is a relationship between IV3 and DV1. That's your hypothesis for the third objective. Very easy, right? Very straightforward. Research question, research objective, research hypothesis, they are all the same, right? Very consistent. Don't do something like this, huh? This is your objective. And then when you write your hypothesis, you write, there is a connection from A to B. Is there any difference?
No.
No difference? Then please don't use this. Use back the same word that you have used in the objective. Try your very best to use the same word throughout the whole article. All right, let's move on. Hypothesis testing, you are going to test your hypothesis based on the data that you have collected. Data you don't need to collect, given to you. Analysis, you have started your analysis. in the past lab, right? In this week lab. Okay. Then from the analysis, they will tell you whether it's significant or not significant. And then you're going to reject or accept your hypothesis. Reject or accept your hypothesis. You will need to tell us this in your result. Okay. Ask a question. Referring to the following pairs of research question and research objective. All are matched except for which one? Take some time to read this and tell me the answer. A is different. Shall we say A is different? No. Someone said donkey. D. Okay, Sukyong also selected D. The answer is D. Correct. See, what can be done to improve? So objective, what can be done? The factors that are going to influence the morale. Yes, you have this word morale. Why is the employee productivity low? We want to find out how these are going to influence the productivity. Okay, correct, productivity. When has employee training been effective? To describe situation criteria when this one can be effective. And then D, is there a difference in the perception between Malaysian and Singaporean? Then the objective, to identify the acceptance level. Then people will be asking, acceptance level means perception? We don't know. That's why in your research assignment, sometimes you use a word to represent a situation in the research question, and you use another word to represent that situation or that group of factors in your objective. You use two different words, so we get confused. Reader get confused. Examiner get confused. So no marks. All right, we take a very quick 5 minutes break and continue with this part. Class rep, can you please take attendance? Let me know who is absent now. Send me a message. Okay, I've received from RSW Group 1, Abdullah Fahem, absent. Thank you, Chinese E. And Jensen's Group, RSD, absent. Windsor is absent. And then Group 2, Thomas. Group 2, Sam Wai-chun is absent. Okay, RSW Group 1, Ryan. Ryan, what do you mean by should be full attendance? You saw all the names. You will have to log in as well to double check. this is. How come this is not charging? It's still not charging. Okay. Who else? 5 more groups. Class rep. Okay, Ryan check. All here. Group 3, Joshua, all here. Four more groups. It's not charging, for your information. That's. Then I'll just move it back here. Why the charger destroyed already? Okay, now it's charging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chihao, Francis, absent. Okay, that is from Jingwen's group. Francis only absent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is RSD group 1. Chihao just joined. Chihao, if you join after 9:30, I will not give you attendance, yeah? Chihao, if you join after 9:30, I'm not going to give you attendance next time, yeah? Because we are taking attendance at 9:30. Ah? No, that's different story, Chihao. The one is practical. This is lab. This is lecture class. Chihao. Next week 我帮你拿 attendance， 我会补回给你。OK， 7号是好学生 ，sorry 啊。Let's continue. OK， Dylan， 什么事 ？What happened? Dylan， 什么事？你要打球是吗？啊，你要约我打球也不是这种事。按错就是你没有听课。OK，let's continue the research design parameter. Okay, research design parameter means if let's say you are going to collect data, what are you going to collect? Number one, you need to decide the type of respondent. Are you going to collect the data from student or lecturer? Number two, the length of the survey. How long is your survey? 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 hours? The number of questions that you are going to ask. So now in the lab this week, you are trying to select which variables you are going to use, right? In the lab. Have you attended the lab? Not yet. Oh, okay. You are going to select which question that you want to use as your variable in the lab this week. Data collection method, are you going to use online, offline, in person, or focus group? Then which area you are going to cover? Is it in Malaysia or is it in US? The total sample size you want to cover. Okay, for your case, you have few thousands, no worry. And then analysis requirement. Are you going to use predictive? Are you going to use multivariate, bivariate correlation? Now you don't know, you still don't know about this, right? Because you are learning, no problem. Type and scope of the deliverables. Like for example, are you going to write a paper? Are you going to publish a paper? Or are you going to join a conference? Okay, all these design parameters, you are not going to design it, but you have to write it in your report. You have to include this in your report methodology. You have to describe. You get the data set. You have to describe this data set is actually covering US, and we have 3,617 samples. And we are using which method to analyze it. You have to include this in your report. Okay, basic assumption, you don't have to include it in the report, but you will need to know this to prepare you all for the exam or midterm test. Basic assumption means that if you are carrying out an experiment, you want to carry out experiment. Li Wei Chen, can you please WhatsApp me? I will not be able to check the message regarding the absenteeism. I'm not going to check from here. Wei Chen, please send me a WhatsApp. Okay, for example, I'm going to carry out an experiment. 2 groups of people. Okay, let's try to look at the weight again, right? I want to lose weight. So first group, I give them what is that? There's an experiment carried out in Taiwan, true experiment. I'm going to give you bubble tea every day, every meal, morning, afternoon, night. Only bubble tea, because after 1 big cup of bubble tea, you're full already. And the second group, no bubble tea. You have a normal meal with rice, with veggie, with meat. After 1 month, whose weight will reduce? A or B? B. Bubble tea one, they want overweight already, is it? How about those online? What do you think?
A.
A group will why? They everyday drink bubble tea, you know? Everyday drink bubble tea. Sorry, I cannot see your comment. Bubble tea one will lose weight but get diabetes. Okay, the answer is A, will lose weight. They will lose weight. So that's called experiment. Okay, all right. Now, in this experiment, what are the basic assumptions that you must do? The first, regarding the person. Number 2, the process of carrying out the experiment. Number 3, the product that you give to them. Let me clarify this. Number 1, assumption on the person, group A and group B. I must assume them, both of them are from the same group of university students. Okay, they have the same metabolism, they have same activity, they go to school, same sleeping pattern, they take the same course, so same living style. Or else you cannot compare group A, I will take like age 50 years old punya elders, and group B, I take a group of students. You cannot do something like this. You have to make sure they are equal. So person, if I take this group of equal person, I have to assume that they are the same. All sugar won't gain weight, but get diabetes. Oh, this is from Ryan. Okay, suggestion from Ryan. So I can drink my bubble tea. Okay, number 2, assumption regarding the process. I need to assume that all the bubble tea that I give to them, group A, are the same bubble tea. No difference. And then group B, they are eating the same amount of rice, veggie, and meat. You must make this assumption. But in order to make this assumption, you must make sure that you are fair. when you carry out, you also follow the same thing. You cannot say, I make assumption all of you are the same, process are the same, and then I buy bubble tea for them, I buy bubble tea for you all also. You say unfair, they got bubble tea, I don't, okay, then I'll give you bubble tea. But then in my report, I assume that group B, no bubble tea at all. Cannot. You cannot do this. And the product itself, I must make sure that the product is standardized. Then only I can put assumption and say that everybody are equally fair. They are consuming the same amount of sugar. They are consuming, I assume that the bubble tea that I buy from the shop are actually standardized, everything standardized. Because I buy from the same shop, so I must assume that it is the same. Unless I buy from different shop and you did not report it, you say it's the same, then cannot. So assumption closely related with your practice. If you practice in this way, you can assume that everybody is fair. All the process is fair. All the product is fair. You can make the assumption. Okay, when all three objects, people, product, process are involved in the study, you can make a series of assumptions about each one. And this assumption will vary with the focus of the study, but many remain constant. Constant means person constantly correct. All same age. Process constantly remain the same. Product constantly remain the same. Let's move on to the second last part, which is about the tools and techniques of research planning. When you plan, you can make use of Mendeley reference management system or Microsoft, make use of calendar, planning sheet, take note of your methods, pre-designed web. All these are some tool analysis, SPSS, PSPP. What is that? Oh, okay. This is the installer. Okay. Let's take a look at your exercise. This is one article. This is one article. That's all for the chapter 2. Yeah. This is an article regarding factors. Okay, tell me. Factors is IV or DV? Factors are IV or DV? Yes, IV. Very good. Who said DV? I'm going to knock your head now. Immediately. Online knocking also. Not. Okay, you can go back and read this article. Try to find out their literature review. Which part is literature review? Which part is hypothesis? Which part is research problem? Which part is research objective? Which part is research design parameter and basic assumptions? This is an exercise for you to do at home. If you are able to find out all these components from this article, then you should be able to find this component for your assignment. You should know how to find it from your own assignment. Right, so for chapter 2, we have done literature review, problem statement, okay, hypothesis, objective, research question as well. Then research design parameters, basic assumption, and the tools and techniques in your research planning. That's basically your chapter 2. Any question before I move on to the next section? Any question? No question. By end of next week, you should come out with your own literature review, research problem statement, research hypothesis, research question, research, literature, I repeat, literature review. Next week, you should come out with your literature review, research problem statement, research question, research objective, research hypothesis. Among these 5 components, 3 are exactly the same. What are the three components that are exactly the same? Tell me now. Hypothesis, objective, research question. Very good. So 5 components actually means only 3 components, right? Because the 3 are the same. Literature review and research problem statement are a little bit challenging. Okay, you will need to heavily depend on your articles. So please find your articles during this weekend. All right, let's spend like 5 minutes time to look at your chapter 3, which is about the different types of the research, design, and approach. Let's take a look at this diagram first. We have 2 big groups, quanti and quali. This is about research design, yeah? Design and approach that you are going to carry out. It can be quanti, it can be quali. Quantitative, qualitative. Let's go to the definition of the so-called quanti and quali first. Quanti means you have numbers. Open now your data set in your assignment. Is it a quanti or quali? It's quanti because you have a lot of numbers, right? But you'll be able to see quali as well, which is not numerical. Quali is not numerical, right? Like for example, gender, and you say female and male. This is not quantitative. This is not numerical. Now, my next statement might be confusing. So please take note of this. Your data set, you see the numbers, right? You see the numbers. But sometimes it could be quali, yes or no, gender, female and male. Did you see in your data set that gender is not male and female, but 1 and 2? Represented by 1 or 2. Did you see that? Instead of using the words yes and no, they use 1 and 2. Because from the quali, you can convert it to quanti. You can represent your qualitative data using numerical data. I represent male with 1, female with 2. So you have numerical data. But originally, this data is collected under quali. Right? It's collected under quali, qualitative. So sometimes it's quite confusing whether this should be quanti or quali. It can be quali, but you convert it to quantitative. You use number to represent. You use number to represent, for example, diploma, degree, which we will look at it again. Like for example, what is your academic highest achievement? And then you give them to select A, diploma, B, degree, C, master's, and D, PhD. And then when you key in the data, you have this variable called education level. This is your variable. And you'll see the data is represented by this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. What are these 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1 represent diploma. 2 represent degree. 3 represent masters. 4 represent PhD. It's possible to convert this into quantitative. Okay, so let's come back to here. If you have quantitative, you can carry out experiment. Normally, when we have experiment, we're going to collect the data, right? Okay, experiment, we have 2 different types. After only, before and after, we're going to explain this. You can also carry out non-experiment design, and then you collect the quantitative data, and then quasi-experimental design. Qualitative design, for example, focus group, you have one group of people and you're going to ask them to discuss on an issue. And then you record their reaction, you record their ideas. That is qualitative. Survey studies can fall under qualitative as well. Your questionnaire question might fall under this part. Diploma, degree, master, PhD, all this can be under survey, qualitative. Right? Okay. The main purpose of investigation, if you want to carry out quantitative, because we want to get number. That's why we use quantitative. And you're going to carry out analysis, quantify it. But for qualitative, you might want to describe differences, the variance. What is the difference between male and female? And you say female are more sensitive. How do you represent sensitive in number? Cannot. And you say male guys are more logical. So that is called phenomenon. Okay. And then measurement of variables, of course, quantitative, you have measurement that is classification quantitative. Qualitative is to description of your variable. Sample size, quantitative, normally we get greater sample size because you can calculate it. But qualitative, we cannot get a big, because if you get big group, very difficult for you to interpret the words. Too complicated. For the quantitative, it will be narrow focus in terms of extent of your it is going deeper. But then for quali, you cover on surface multiple issues, not in depth. Okay, dominant research value, reliability. I mean the way that you are going to the value of your research outcome. You are going to depend on the reliability, objectivity. But for qualitative, you are going to look at the authenticity. How pure is your data? And the analysis normally will use statistic for quantitative, but then for quali, no, you cannot use the SPSS or PSPP. You can only look at the description, the paragraph, and then summarize, identify the different group of people that you have in your experiment, in your data. Okay, the rest we can continue next week since it's already end of the time. Let me double check again. I need attendance. I only get attendance for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. Where are the other 3 groups? I have RSD group 1, RSW group 1 and group 2, group 3, RSD group 2, RSW another group 1. How about RDS? RDS, class rep, are you here? If you are not able to give me the attendance, I will not be able to conduct hybrid model. RSD, can you please send me the message, Jiawi? Okay. One, two. There is one group which is combination of group 4, 5, 6. Group 4, Yi Qian is absent. And then group 3, Jason and Xing Yong. You will need to WhatsApp me. Okay, Jiawi. RDS, missing RDS group. RDS? Can you please WhatsApp me RDS? Who is absent? I want the class rep to WhatsApp me who is absent so I can take your attendance. If not, then all of you have to come back. This is 10 o'clock already. I have class at 10 o'clock. RDS, where is the class rep? If you think that it's very troublesome to take attendance in this way, then please come back for physical class. You take your own attendance. Or if you have a better way to do this. I have only one RDS group. Okay. Yeah. All right. Receive. Okay, that's all for today. Then we will come back again next week. Thank you, all the class rep. If you think that the class rep, if you think that it's very troublesome, you might want to allocate some people to take note of. Let's say you will identify the 10%, the other class rep assistant take note of another 10%. Okay, instead of you identify it from the list. Bye bye. See you. You're welcome. June. Bye bye. Same to you. You're welcome. Bye bye. See you. PA nobody use here. We can have 3 hours of replacement classing. Or cannot, because you have practical class. Okay.